Hi, boys and girls. It's Miss Hawks Read Aloud back at you. Today we're going to talk about episodes in books. So what do I mean? So when you watch your favorite TV show on Disney or on Nick Jr., they last about half an hour long and you're watching an episode. Well, books are also kind of done in episodes in that the setting changes from one event to another. So we're going to be looking at the events or the episodes in a book that you're very familiar with, The Three Little Pigs. The Three Little Pigs by James Marshall. Once upon a time, an old sow sent her 3 little pigs out into the world to seek their fortune. Now be sure to write, she said. And if you look here, there's quotation marks. That's because it's dialogue. The mom, they say the word sow. You can't see it's backwards. They say the word sow. Sow is the name of a female pig. So it says the sow said to her, sent her 3 little pigs out into the world to seek their fortune. Now be sure to write, she said, and remember that I love you. So here's our first episode. They're at home with their mom. She's crying. She's sad. Notice that the 3 pigs are dressed differently. And this little pig, he's got no shirts on. His shorts are kind of tattered. He's just got a bag slung over his shoulder and a hat on. This little pig looks a little bit more put together. He thought about it. He's got some suspenders. His bag is on the end of a stick. The third little pig, he looks way different. He looks like he is ready to go out and get a job. He's got a briefcase, a little cane, a jacket and tie. I mean, he looks way different than his other pig buddies. So this is our first episode. So our second episode is here. It says the first little pig met a man with a load of, you guessed it, straw. I know, said the little pig. I'll buy your straw and build a house. That's not a good idea, said the man. And again, here's the first little pig. His hat, his shorts. He's just got all his stuff in a pillowcase there. Mind your own business, thank you, said the little pig. And he bought the straw and set about building a house. It took him no time at all. So there's a lot of things in this episode that I can think of outside of this. First of all, he did not take the advice of the man, saying it wasn't a good idea. He kind of gave him a little bit of an attitude up here, saying, like, mind your own business. And it didn't take him much time to build the house. It normally takes a while to build a house. So I'm thinking, prediction, that it's not going to work out. Very soon, a lean, which means skinny, and hungry wolf happened by. The pig was just about his favorite food in the world. So he knocked on the door and said, little pig, let me come in. To which the little pig replied, no, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. So here's the pig. He's hanging out in his straw house. He's got a hammock. He's just chilling. Here's the wolf. That is Callie. This annoyed wolf to no end, and he said, then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. Go right ahead, said the little pig. So the wolf huffed and he puffed and he blew the house in and he gobbled up the little pig. Now, I know we hear lots of different versions of the story. In this story, the wolf is really a bad guy, and he eats the little pig. Now, remember, this is the one episode. We're dealing with the pig with the straw house. Now we're on to the next episode where we meet the second little pig. He's a little bit more put together. It says the second little pig met a man with a load of sticks. I've got it, said the little pig. I'll buy those sticks and build a house. I'd think twice about that, said the man. Oh, pooh, said the little pig. What would you know? And he bought the sticks and went to work building a house. Very pretty, he said. Again, He didn't listen to the man, and we can predict what's going to happen to him. No sooner had the little pig settled into his pretty house than the wolf happened by. He was still pretty hungry, and he said, little pig, let me come in." To which the pig replied, "No, no, no, not by the hair on my chinny chin chin." So here's the wolf, not impressed. Here's the pig's house. So the wolf didn't care for that at all, and he said, "I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in," said the little pig. So he huffed and he puffed and he blew the house in, and he gobbled up the little pig. Now we're moving on to the next episode. Different pig, different setting. Now the third little pig met a man with a load of bricks. "These bricks will make a fine, sturdy house," said the man. "Capital idea, my good fellow," said the little pig. So the man was giving him advice, and it was good advice, and the little pig, who's dressed very nicely, even has some spectacles or glasses on his head, took that good advice. So he bought the bricks and set about building a house. It took him quite a bit of time. So that's different than his two brothers, that it didn't take them a lot of time. But it was well worth it. "Nice and solid," said the little pig. "Nice and solid." So this episode is really different than the other episodes. But no sooner had the little pig moved in than he noticed the wolf loitering, which means kind of like hanging around about. And the wolf, who was still hungry, said, little pig, let me come in." To which the little pig replied, "No, no, no, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." Notice that the wolf has the balloon that was in the previous pages at the stick pig's house. Now look at this nice house that the pig built. It looks pretty sturdy to me. Well, the wolf had heard that before, and he said, "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." "Oh, no, don't do that," said the little pig. But the wolf huffed and he puffed and he huffed and he puffed until he was quite blue in the face. The house stood firm. "I'll try another approach," muttered the wolf. And he put on his most dazzling smile. "Little pig, I was only teasing," he said. "By the way, I hear that Farmer Jones has the most scrumptious turnips. Shall we go pick a few?" "Oh, I'm much too busy now," said the little pig. "What about tomorrow morning?" "Excellent," said the wolf. "I'll come for you at 6. We're still on the episode with the little pig in the brick house. So the wolf had to change up his tune. It didn't work, so now he's thinking of another plan. The next morning, the little pig got up at 5, hurried off to Farmer Jones's turnip field, picked a basketful of scrumptious turnips, and dashed back home. When the wolf arrived at 6, the turnips were already boiling in the pot. "Sorry, I couldn't wait," said the little pig. The wolf tried not to show his displeasure. "No harm done," he said. "By the way, there's a lovely apple tree down in the meadow. Shall we go help ourselves to a few apples?" "I must cook my turnip," said the little pig. "Let's meet there tomorrow morning." "Splendid," said the wolf. "Shall we say at 5? The next morning, the little pig was up at 4 and went off for the apples. It took longer than he expected to reach Merry Meadow, and while busy gathering apples in the highest tree, he saw the wolf approaching. "Do try one of the apples," he called down, throwing apples as far as he could. When the wolf chased after the apple, the little pig shimmied down the tree and made it safely home. The next day, the wolf came again. Really, he was quite put out. "There's a fair today on Hog Hill," he said. "Would you care to go?" "Why don't we meet there?" said the little pig. "Would 3 o'clock suit you?" "Colossal," said the wolf. 3 it is, just to make sure. He would be there at 2. So now the wolf is kind of wisening up. Now we're still in the episode with the pig with the brick house. It's just a longer episode. Sometimes TV shows are a little bit longer than other ones. At 1 in the afternoon, the little pig went to the fair and had a fine time, So fine, he lost track of the hour. Suddenly, out of the corner of his eye, he saw the wolf coming up the hill. Without a minute to spare, the little pig jumped inside an empty butter churn and rolled down the hill towards the wolf. Well, the wolf was so scared, he ran all the way home. So kind of it's been flipped. Now the wolf is scared of the pig. That evening, the wolf went to the pig's house and told him how frightened he'd been by a great round thing that came down the hill. Frightened you, did I? Said the little pig. That round thing was a butter churn, and I was inside. This was simply too much for the wolf to stand. I've been nice long enough, he cried. I'm going to eat you right now. And he climbed onto the roof. When the little pig saw this, he put a big iron pot in the fireplace and quickly stoked the fire. Stoked means like you start it and make it getting really hot.
And then he went.
Here I come, cried the wolf. Dinner time.
And then he walked out of it.
You can say that again, said the little pig. And he cooked the mean old wolf and gobbled it up. So it's kind of a turn of events where the big bad wolf ate the other two pigs. And this time around, the smart pig at the end is eating the wolf. So again, boys and girls, an episode is where the setting changes. So we have the beginning with the mom, the second with the straw pig, the third with the wood pig, and the last one with the brick pig. And at the end, the pig wins. All right, boys and girls, hope you enjoyed the story. Bye.